Well, everybody, if you don't know already, BetOnline is
They're
the
buddies.
presenting sponsor of the
Yeah.
Dumb Dad podcast.
It sure is. BetOnline's the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. Let's go.
Let's go.
Football's
We're back
coming
in
back.
it. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played.
You think you know your stuff? Do you? Do you think you know your stuff?
I'm not confident in what day it is.
Well, listen to me. Get in on our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor pool for the upcoming season. That's a significant amount of
That's tempting.
cheese.
That's tempting.
Yeah.
That's almost a Rivian.
It's tempting to win it.
When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games.
Mindless. You just pull the slot and then see that. I mean, they're colorful. You know, they're fun to play.
Yeah.
150 of them. You can pick one. Head to the website today and use promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV and get in on the action.
BetOnline. The game starts here.
The game starts here and the pod
The game starts here.
starts right now.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. My name's Evan, and I'm a dumb dad. And on today's episode, Kevin teaches us a brand new place you can find kinetic sand.
And on today's episode, Evan's kids might be going to school, but he's the one who needs to learn how to get in a routine.
Uh-oh.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, bud. Boy, is it wonderful to see you.
Nice to see you. Nice to be seen.
Nice to look and feel seen. Be here, be there, be everywhere. Hey, everybody.
Day 3 of the school season.
Yeah. 0 for 3. We're 0-3. Tough start.
Tough start. I'll get into it real quick. It's
for it.
not a long story. It can be if I wanted to, but it's not necessary.
Okay.
So my first day of school for my kids was a little bit different than yours. A little different than the average Joe's.
Yeah.
All right, let me just get to it.
Oh,
First day of school.
Well, why don't you tell me how it went, and we'll determine that later, Kev.
First day of school went pretty swimmingly.
Yeah.
Actually, I got the photos.
Oh,
The
they went
first
swimming.
day,
Really?
I got them before. I was smart. We always do them in the front of the house, which is like where the sun is blasting you. Not this year. I was smart. Did them in the back of the house in front of our orange tree. Just looked better. I was like, oh, they're in the shade, but they're lit well. Anyway,
It's funny you say that. Front of the house and back of the house. I still think of like theatrical terms,
oh, okay.
not like the front of your
no, I didn't-
actual house.
No, I didn't go to a theater,
Yeah.
a haunted theater, and use the ghost light
For
to
the first
light
day.
them for the first photo.
First day photo.
Stand next to the ghost light.
Yeah.
A ghost light is the light that they keep on in the theater. It's superstitious. In case anybody wonders, there's always a light on in the middle of it doesn't matter. So, get
Well,
the
you
kids off to
don't
school.
want your theater to be haunted, Kevin. How stupid would that be?
Kind of do. It's one more seat. You know, it's one more viewer.
Hmm.
Sometimes you got to fill them seats.
Yeah, but they're probably not paying.
It's not about paying. It's about sharing your art. So I get the kids to school, and it went well. It was great. Got the kids all handed off. It was a bit of a mess because the school was trying a new thing, which was very funny because they were trying like a valet line, which I know your school has. So we have a whole new entrance.
Kiss and drop, they call it.
Weird.
We call it.
Weird. That's a weird thing to call it.
I agree,
Yeah.
but that's what it's called.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a dating term when your date's over, and
Yeah.
then they give her a little kiss and drop.
Maybe
and
they're trying
I hope
to-
she calls.
Maybe they're trying to just like lean away from like the putting the heel in the kid's lower back, and I'll see you at 2:30, which is what happened too many times. And like, or
It still happens. They're trying to encourage it. Got the kids off at school. Honestly, it all went great, and no complaints. The kids were excited too. There's no pushback. They were excited to get back to school.
same. I wonder what's happening.
I think part of it, for at least for my kids, I can say is they did a short stint of summer camp at the school, so they were kind of like in the mode already.
It's great because we were worried about that actually backfiring.
Yeah, it didn't.
That's great.
They were excited to go back. So
Yeah.
school went fine. Picked the kids up, come home. My daughter's having some discomfort that she said she'd been having since lunch in her side. for those listening, it's going to take a turn real fast. So she
Buckle up if you're driving, especially to be safe, but also to listen to the story.
Yeah. So she starts complaining about her side pretty aggressively. Doesn't collapse, but she goes to the floor crying about it.
You walked home, right? Because you guys walk home. Did she say anything on the walk home?
No, it wasn't until we got home. And then we called the pediatrician. And they were like, can you get here by 4? Yes, we get there by 4. And they look at her and they're just like, shoulder shrug, because it's not textbook appendicitis. But they're like, without an ultrasound, we don't know. So it's just like, he's like, you can either go get the ultrasound or you can go home and see how she does the rest of the day. And I was like, okay. It was one of those things. And I was like, what do you recommend? He's like, honestly, either one is fine. It's not like you don't need to feel bad at one or the other. And I was like,
your wife is there with you? You guys all went? Or did you just take her?
No, it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
And then I think he said, obviously, if she gets any worse, take her. And I was like, ER. And I was like, you got it. So I was like, all right, let's just go home. Sometimes this stuff's false alarms, kids, growing pains, whatever.
That's the tough part. And
the ER is always open.
Oh man. And thankfully so. You're not, it's interesting because when anything just kind of, it's up to you. It's like, what's the right way to say this? Sort of the relationship you have with your kid. You lean on that to determine whether is she acting weirder than normal? Is she doing the things she's doing when she feels like this, or is she really? Yeah. And you're like, oh no, she's really. This is different.
Yeah. So exactly. So we went home, and then as soon as we got home, she popped a fever, pretty good one too. And then it was just like, and then she was just in pain, and I was like, let's go to the ER.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Oh, man.
So we went to the ER. This is day 1 of school. And she made it the full day. So
dude,
we get to the ER, and I guess everyone had a bad first day of school. ER was packed. It was packed. We had to sit in the hallway. And it was just like, oh, okay. And it was funny because when we said...
At least there's a comfort level knowing that, they're pretty, I've been to the ER with both my kids. They're pretty, antennas up when a kid walks in.
Yeah, and they were. So they got her in fast. They got her an ultrasound right away. They drew blood and put an IV in her right away. Especially because it's like she's complaining of pain in her right side, and she has a temperature. She has a fever.
Yeah, what do they do to get you through an hour or two of waiting?
We didn't know this at the time, so we weren't concerned. Obviously, we were concerned, but we weren't freaking out. We didn't know this at the time, but that's the signs of a burst appendix, which nobody...
Fever.
Yeah. We didn't learn that until way later, but they knew that right away. And they, like you said, their antennas went up, but it was so busy. It was funny. I don't know if it's from my time. I don't know if it's just knowing the cliche of ER or also working in a hospital. But when my wife was like, I think you should go. And I was like, I think I should go too. I immediately went into my bedroom, put on sweatpants, grabbed a backpack, filled it with stuff.
You knew you were going to be there for a while.
Like a fast go back too. I was hustling.
Yeah.
I was grabbing the Nintendo Switch, some books, some cards to play. Went and got there.
Stuff for you guys to do because you're going to be waiting there for a while.
And credit to her, she was great because she was had discomfort. And I think it wasn't so bad when she was not moving. So we were just sitting there, and she was having the best time. She had this new loom for making bracelets. She's just making bracelets for hours. And it was fine. So we just did that for a while, and she was in the best mood, and we just had a million tests done. And
this little angel girl, this beautiful girl who broke her arm on her birthday and was like, what a great birthday.
Yeah, best birthday ever.
What a great first day of school. I may have ruptured my appendix, but man, I'm crushing bracelets in the hospital with my dad.
She's having fun.
She's a special person.
So then it was hours. We got there at 6. We're just burning the rest of the day. And then it wasn't until 11 that my daughter, who's just talking to people and being really nice, she at one point, an employee's walking by, and this is what I do love about her. She walks the line of being rude but also assertive, with kids. It's a very thin line.
Yeah, it's hair thin, you might say.
So an employee was walking by, and she was, excuse me, I would love to have a room, please. And he was very nice. He was like, I know.
The
I know.
line of entitlement and like
She's like, I feel like I've.
also say if you want something.
Yeah. Also, like, yeah, stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Which they did.
I would like a room, please.
Which they said, we are looking for a room for you. I think it's because they were also like, does this girl have a burst appendix? How much longer can she sit before it gets bad? You know? They're still like looking at the results. So they get her in a room, and then I'm like relaxed because like I'm in a chair, she's in a bed. I'm like, all right, we can. This is gonna buy us many more hours, and then they were like, we're gonna admit her, and I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, call my wife. They're gonna admit her. Long story short,
you bring the Nintendo Switch charger.
It lasts pretty long when you're not online.
When it's idling.
But we went up to the room. They wanted to do one more X-ray.
They always do.
Just want to do one more X-ray.
They like looking around in there.
So you get her up to her room. It's like 1:30 before they're like, all right, guys, like, let us know if you need anything. And it's like, okay, we will. And my daughter is still like awake.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and then I laid down in my bed. She's like, that's your bed? I was like, yeah. And she's like, is it comfortable? I was like, it's fine. And she's like,
is it the same bed they give you when you're having a kid? It's a chair and all of a sudden it's a bed somehow?
No, this was like a couch, but it was like a love seat. So it wasn't big enough for me, but it wasn't.
Are they ever? If you're talking about a couch that folds out.
There's some. This wasn't one of them.
I wrote them down. I know their locations.
It was honestly fine. But
I know where to find them.
She was doing this thing. She's like, that's your couch? I was like, yeah. She's like, is it comfortable? And I was like, yeah, it's okay. And she's like, yeah. Is it always like that, or did it like pull out? And I was like, it pulls out a little bit. It doesn't pull out to a full bed, but it pulls out a little farther. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh. It's a cool couch, but I need you to go to sleep.
I am 1:30. So interested in sleeping and not talking. That's what I'm mostly interested in.
And then she woke up. We woke up. She woke up in time to get dressed and go to school if she needed to. She woke up at 7, and which is fine. I was already awake. And
you didn't sleep well in the hospital with your daughter under.
I forgot my melatonin. Other than that, I would have slept like a baby.
You
they would have had to shake me awake. I would have woke up in the ER because they would have been like, "Buddy, we couldn't wake you. We got nervous."
You need like you need like a ring. You know, like a spy movie where it's like the ring, and then you bite the pill, and it's like it's over. If you need to send it, it's like a little melatonin ring.
I'll just take one of those necklaces. Just have a bunch of melatonins.
I don't need a candy necklace.
A candy necklace and melatonin.
Melatonin necklace. When you go to
get your melatonin necklace.
Don't steal that. We're going to shoot a fake ad for that.
Don't casually just chew them bored either.
You'll find yourself a light with your forehead sending the horn off.
Exactly. So,
good Lord.
So yeah, she wakes up the night. We wake up the next day. I don't. They do like one more test on her.
Yeah.
Kind of shrug their shoulders because she's improved. And then then she ate something because she hadn't eaten since we gotten there. And yeah, they just kind of were just like, send you on your way.
No definitive questions answered.
No definitive questions answered. They didn't put her on antibiotics or anything.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, yes, she's better. And I was like,
let's turn it off and turn it back on again.
But it wasn't that though. It was just
reset it.
It was it's fine. It's one of those things like, I don't want my daughter to have appendicitis, but it would be nice to know.
But it'd be nice to know if there's something they can say, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And here's what we can do to help it.
Yeah.
Not, well, thanks.
Which I shouldn't be surprised because at my age, it's like, this hurts. And they're like, yeah, we don't know.
I know.
Sometimes that just happens.
I know. It's really funny. I think we were talking on the phone earlier or whatever, and it's like, man, of all the advancements in technology and the health industry and all these things, there's still plenty of things that are like, yeah, I'm not really sure.
We don't know. Sometimes the body does.
Which is,
Sometimes it doesn't.
yeah, sometimes the body does what it wants, So
So that was day 1. She missed day 2.
it was day 1 of school. It was day 1 of school.
We kept her out of day 3.
Yeah.
To
Was that today?
monitor
I couldn't
her. That's day 3.
tell you. Yeah.
That's day
I've done
3.
all 3 days, and I don't really know what's going on.
Well, what was really funny is, so I got a decent amount of sleep last night, because I went to bed like shortly after everybody went to bed,
Yeah.
and then I woke up, and it was fine. Did the day, but then for some reason, not for some reason. So then I went to bed and woke up at 7 and stared at that clock, going, "Okay, what day is it?" Like, genuinely, I've had that day where you go like,
Yeah.
"What day is it?" But ballpark. You're not like, "Is it
You could
Wednesday?"
retrace your steps and find it.
You're not like, "Is it Wednesday or is it Saturday?" It's a weekday. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I gotta get the kids up for school. I just don't know which school day it is. Like, that happens. I know it's the weekend, but which one is it? Saturday, Sunday?
Should I have put out the trash? That kind of
This
thing. I know I'm
one-
close.
This one was, I haven't had this in maybe ever, or at least in a long time, where I just looked down and went, okay. What day?
Zero in here, Kev.
It's
Lock it in.
Wednesday. Get up. You gotta get the kids up for school. And my daughter stayed home, watched her. She was fine all day. We had a lovely time. Took her to the mall as like a test. Let's walk around the mall. Just see if your
Yeah,
body explodes.
Oh my God. Just following her there with a mop.
Yeah.
Well, man, I'm glad you guys are home. I'm glad that I don't know. I know what you're saying. Like I can put myself in your shoes. You'd rather have the answer, but sometimes no news is good news, and that's acceptable too, I guess. So you know, we could be talking about how her recovering from surgery, which is a whole other scary thing. You know, like we don't mean to minimize any of this, but also it happened. Can be scary, man. It's not.
It's definitely scary.
The waiting period is it's the hardest, right? Because the unknown is like a scary part, especially when you're a parent, and that's the thing.
No, it's definitely scary. Having her admitted was scary, and then talking to the surgeon was scary. It was just like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is one of those things where like you have to realize sometimes things just stop and go away. Sometimes it's like could be a viral infection, is what they think it was. Nobody has an answer.
Yeah,
and it's like one of those things where you gotta be like, okay. That does happen. I think like we're always thinking in absolutes as people that you're just like, no, I need an answer. Because what if this thing comes back? They're like, there's a chance it won't. And you're like, but we don't know that. And they're like, yeah, that's welcome to life.
Yeah.
Remember that weird cough that hurt your neck? We don't know what that was either.
Yeah. I know. Oh, man. What do you think? I got well, we could jump into some dumb dad moments really quick. And then
Sure.
I'll finish it out with something that what happened this week. My dumb dad moment is like simple, man. And it's just the fact that, last week we sort of like recuperated a bit and talked about how we just got back from tour and, we were mentally fatigued from all that, but also hitting the ground running because it was the first week of school, first day of school.
Sure was.
Which, oh my gosh, good. Go back and listen to that. The excitement in your voice. And now this is we're on day 3. We just talked about your experience.
Yeah.
But you know what? Here's my dumb dad moment. It's kind of a silly little thing, but I was, like I said, we were focused on tour. It was like a big mental load of us for like to make sure we had all of our ducks in a row. We wore a lot of hats. Then we came back and it was like, all right, reset, get a good night's sleep because it starts now. We have 3 days before school starts and all these things. And I'm so focused on the kids, trying to make sure I'm helping out in the right way, getting them prepared, whether it was going for a little, we went like back to school shopping for a couple outfits that weekend, just getting them not only like, are they like backpack and school essentials ready, but also kind of like mentally ready.
Sure.
They both said they were excited. My daughter said she was a little bit nervous, but also like they were pretty okay.
Yeah.
And never once did I consider that what it takes for me to get back into back to school schedule. And so like, I'm going to feel very bad saying this out loud, but it is the truth. Like I'm exhausted after 3 days. And I know how stupid that makes me sound after the story you just told.
No, I don't care about that. Why are you exhausted?
I just like the grind happened so quickly. It felt like it didn't feel like easing into back to school. It was like, we're up earlier, get the kids up. Now they're sleeping in. They're older. they were struggling to get up on time, trying to get them to eat something before it was like really time to go.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember like what time we used to leave to get to school on time.
Oh, okay.
Like that kind of stuff. I just wasn't like,
Yeah, you weren't dialed in.
I wasn't dialed in. We were just, there's just obviously other things going on. And
Sure.
I'm thinking like, we'll get them ready. Well, I'll be fine. I'll just wake up, get them to school and we'll just, but then like day 2 and day 3 now. And it's like,
Yeah.
man, you got to focus up, get ready, get back to
Yeah.
like, this is the time to be ready so that you can leave on time at this time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time to be wrapped up with stuff working at home so that you can make sure you leave to go, not be late to pick them up, but like not park 8 blocks away, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
Just all those little things was like,
Yeah.
I wasn't dialed in. Wasn't dialed in for all that. And to be honest, like, we've been in constant contact with what happened after the first day of school. So there's been a lot on,
I'll go blame it on my daughter. No. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
there's
cool.
been a lot going on because, of course, our families are very close, and so that's been on my mind as well. I'm very concerned with like thinking of you guys. I know your daughter's a trooper, and so for the most part, like, of course, we knew she was in the best. She was in where she should be. She was in the right hands.
The
waiting part,
great
The
hospital.
waiting part sucks. Yeah. So yeah, I just was like not ready. Like I wasn't ready for school, I guess.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that I wasn't going to be until I sit here Wednesday going like, oh man, I need to like. And here's the other dumb dad moment.
Okay.
I did, like you called out early in the podcast, I took the picture after school. First day of picture after school.
You did.
Yeah. And that shows you that I was like not.
I put that in my post today.
Just not right. I know. And you said that, and I was like, yeah, that's one of my dumb dad moments. It was just like, it was one of those years. It was like, we got to go. Photo can be after.
If you're listening,
Hopefully it was a good day.
If you're listening, you don't have kids in school, there's no shame in taking the photo after school because unless you put an immense amount of pressure on yourself, and also it doesn't matter. One, most importantly, it doesn't matter. But 2, there's a good chance you forget. You think you won't forget, but when you get to like, and obviously I'm not there yet, but when you get to like grade 8 or 9, you'll look at grade 2 and go, I don't remember if we took this one before or after school. And then by grade 10, you don't remember. It doesn't matter. Just get the photo. Who cares when you took it?
And I respect the people that are that dialed in to where it's like a whole setup, because that like you're presetting everything else you're doing probably into the prior day. They're probably taking the day before.
Okay. Okay. Slow down.
No, but I'm saying so many things in parenting feel overwhelming, even though you're like been talking about going to school for the first day for a week.
That's funny. You said that and I was like really surprised by you saying you're exhausted. But if I thought about it,
I feel so bad about saying that to you. I gotta say.
it's incredibly insensitive. It's wild after what happened to my family. You had to pour Cheerios a little later than you wanted to. I had to make arrangements at my daughter's school.
Oh my God.
Anyway. No, I think we were, I can't speak to day 2 or
Pour it
3.
on, dude.
But day 1, getting the kids up and out of the door was actually super easy. But no, I think it goes back to what I was saying before. Because they had camp at the school,
Yeah.
we sent them to school like they were, sent them to camp like they were going to school. It was literally like lunchbox, ice pack with a luncheon, even though they're served lunch there.
Yeah.
Like, here's your water bottle, get dressed, let's get sunscreen on you.
Mm-hmm.
We were pretty... We were pretty on top of it day 1. Didn't have to worry about day 2 or 3 because only one kid went to school, so it was much easier.
It was more like I always thought of it as like part of their schedule.
Yeah,
Get them back into school. I wasn't thinking of it from
Part of it's your schedule.
part of it's my schedule. I just didn't even consider that.
That's okay. You'll get there.
And
I'm glad it hasn't affected your early dismissals yet. Because that'd have been a wild first week.
1 for 1, baby.
That'd be a wild first
Yeah,
week if you had missed
man.
that. Because someone did. Someone somewhere.
Oh, I know. First week. Yeah, someone absolutely did.
My dumb dad.
Please write us at dumbdad@gmail.com and tell us.
My dumb dad moment is probably brought to you by exhaustion, I will say, because of everything I went through.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Because I was so worried about you guys getting to school on time. I wasn't able to focus at home. got things right.
This is perfect. This is the equivalent of like when your kid with your friend with no kids comes up and is like, oh my God, I'm tired. I slept like 12 hours last night. I'm still tired. Like,
So tired.
I'm going to
Okay.
not call you for a while.
Oh, I slept 10 hours last night. I'm so tired. Oof. Sorry, can we get some coffee? I'm on my second pot.
I'm just chewing espresso grinds.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
I made my kids dinner last night, and my son, who it was several factors that led me to my dumb dad moment. It's still very funny to me, but he's, he can be weird. He's younger, so he can be weirder about like things he doesn't like or how he reacts to certain things or like whatever, right?
Sure.
So I give them dinner, and then I'm like, "Oh, you guys need water?" So I find his water bottle, and I unscrew it. I look at it, dump it out. I always like to it's always like a fun little like pro hack. Dump your kid's water out in your dog bowl. That way the dog bowl is always full, and you're just rotating out water for them. That's what I like to do. We're in a drought.
We're in a drought. I was just going to say like, people that live near the ocean are like, what?
No, I'm not going to do it if like flakes come out of there. I mean, when you have a clean,
And just scoop out any of the chunks.
yeah, you
so
just get yourself a micro strainer and just kind of like a pool skimmer. Just go for it.
Who do you give the skin to?
Oh, you just dump that in that.
Okay.
In the food bowl.
Oh my
That's
God.
right next to it.
God, why don't you just
Dog couldn't
two
be
middle
happier.
fingers to Mother Earth?
Yeah, and so it's an important detail that I dumped it out, rinsed it out, filled it up with water, and then I was like, oh, he doesn't have a straw. We got him like these water bottles. They're cool. There's water bottles that like you put a metal straw in them, or there's like a flap lips up, and they can just drink it like a cup. And it's like,
Okay.
so I was like, where's the straw? It's on the drying rack. Grab that. Here you go, buddy. Drinking it. And I don't know how long he's had it or been drinking it.
Yeah.
But my wife just started yelling, what's happening? What are you doing? Stop it. What are you doing? And I come in there, and he's just not spitting up.
Uh-huh.
Like he's just spitting. He's just going like all over himself, just tons of water on himself. And he's like, it's gross. It's gross. And I was like, what? And I just grabbed it, and I was like, the water? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, buddy, I just filled it. And I went and drank it.
Yeah.
There's something in there. And it was like in my brain. I mean, I've eaten wet food. I've eaten, you know what I mean? Like I've eaten a nugget off their plate. I've put food in my mouth that I'm not proud of.
Oh my God.
So I knew I was like prepared for whatever it was going to be. The texture that the second it hit my mouth, I just did what he did. I just spit it out on the ground right then and there.
What was in the water?
And I was like, what the heck is in this thing? What's in the straw? Because it's got to be the straw.
Uh-huh.
That was on the drying rack, which means it's clean. And I don't know which one of us parents is in the hot seat for this one. But I like went and blew on it. And I was like, kinetic sand
Oh.
comes popping out of that stuff, which when it's wet for a second, you're like, what is that? Because it doesn't look like kinetic sand.
Yeah, probably closer to like baby tapioca, fish eggs.
So I just like
that.
grabbed it and just like rubbed it between my fingers. I was like, yeah, that's kinetic sand.
Oh my.
But the dumb down moment is not blow out the straw in the sink.
It's buying kinetic sand.
No, I like kinetic sand. I'll stand by it. Kinetic sand's easy
It's
clean.
pretty cool.
Easy cleanup, vacuums if you want to get rid of
Kinetic
it.
sand's great because like you play with it on the table, and whatever stays on the table, you put it away, and whatever's on the ground, you vacuum it up.
Vacuum it up.
You
I'm all
slowly,
for it.
very slowly,
Get rid of it.
get rid of it over time.
Yeah. But my dumb dad moment was like, and I'm not blaming it on exhaustion, but it's probably just me being a dumb dad. Was just like, what do you mean it's gross? And going for it instead of just like look in the straw. Can I see through the
Trusting
straw?
him, you literally didn't trust him.
No, I was just like, knock it off. You guys have terrible
You spitting water because you think it's funny.
taste. What is this? But what made me laugh instantly was like walking in the room, watching him just all over himself and being like, you're ridiculous, and going and just spit it on the floor.
Yeah,
Because it was
knowing that like you would never do that. Even if something's gross, you're gonna swallow it.
I'll spit it out in my hand or in the sink. Like
Yeah.
I'll get there going, there's something in here. But like it was such a foreign substance and feeling immediately that it was like, get this out of here. It's it's the game of like, I don't know what it is. You put jelly on grapes and like during Halloween, somebody puts their hand in it in the dark and it's like, it's eyeballs. And it freaks you out, that kind of thing, because you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where I was like, my brain immediately went, let's see, we have, no, I don't know. I'd get that out of there.
Yeah.
We don't know what that is.
Indexing texture, 0 results.
Because it's not regular sand. It's like that kinetic sand.
Yeah.
So it's like clumping but grainy, and you're like, I got to get out of here. Didn't go well.
Yet another place you didn't expect to ever find kinetic sand when you bought it.
Oh, yeah. We turned it around into a
wonder if I'll ever
learning
eat some of
moment
this.
for the children. I was like, okay, guys, this is why you just play with the kinetic sand with the kinetic sand toys. We don't just start exploring.
And then I won't have to consume kinetic sand anymore. Am I losing you guys? Why are you looking at me like that?
Let me tell you, though, it cleans you out.
You don't need a lemonade and cayenne for a week. Just take a quarter ounce of kinetic sand. You'll be brand new.
It's good for
Brand new.
colonoscopy.
We're going to sort of jump subjects here. I'm going to do a quick dad rant. I don't like getting upset. I don't think
That's been our dad rant.
it feels like to get like really upset about something.
Like really, really upset.
Like
you mean.
really,
You don't
really
mean
upset
just
about something is like, I'm very concerned about like wasting my time with stuff like that. You know, I don't get like, if someone cuts me off in traffic, it's like, all right, whatever. Get to wherever you need to get to. Like it doesn't, it's just stuff like that doesn't, I try not to let that kind of stuff bother me.
You don't say anything. You don't say anything.
Well, it's sarcastic when I say
don't
good
say
luck
anything?
getting to wherever you need to get to.
Okay.
But it's like, you're creating your own problems by doing that. I hope you don't hurt anybody. You know what I mean?
Let's go to the footage. I don't know.
Go to the footage, man. All that to say, if something upsets me, like then it starts to like really upset me. And I feel like it's been a while since I've been like pretty pissed.
ticked off.
Sorry to use, but yeah. My son, our kids played rec league baseball, right? We considered like, do we step up to like what I remember doing when I was a kid, which is like, you start kind of playing the official, it wasn't rec league, but whatever, like the league you join. And then it was like, you had to try out to get to like, I would play in minors. You had to like try out to get into majors. And you could try out when you were like, whatever, 10, 11, 12, or 13, something like that. And it's like, if you continue to not make it, then you stay in minors and you play in that league of baseball, whatever. That was kind of how it worked.
Sure.
I don't really know how it works here, but there's baseball around us where it's like that league, you definitely shell out some cash to play, like in probably a very enthusiastic and involved league of baseball, which is what I remember playing. Rec league baseball was fun. I don't think my son is necessarily like ready to make that leap. So we were like, well, what do we do? How do we help him get there if he wants to continue playing baseball? Because I'd feel bad if it was like, I don't know. I don't know. We just drive by and it's like, oh, that looks cool. Those baseball fields are beautiful. And you look up the website and it's like, all right, this seems pretty serious.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ready for that yet. How do we get him there if he wants to be there?
Right.
I would also feel bad if it's like, all right, we signed you up for this, and then he just feels awful because like all these kids have been playing baseball for, 6 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's played 1 year. So we decide maybe in fall, we'll sign him up for rec league baseball again. And then in the meantime, they were offering a baseball clinic. I think kind of like what you guys were doing.
So my daughter did. It was great.
A couple of cities north.
Yeah.
And you said it was great. She learned a lot and prepped her for going into baseball. So we were like, that's pretty good. We'd bridge the gap of the next season of baseball by like doing a clinic, right?
Yeah.
So the other night I take him to this clinic and I was like pretty pumped. He was just like, all right, this was like a second night of school, I think. So we get home, finishes his homework, we relax for a little bit and it's like, all right, man, grab your glove. Let's go. So we head over there. There's like one guy at the park sitting on the bench who I kind of recognized from like earlier, and he was involved in like the league of baseball.
Yeah.
Never met him before or whatever, but like pretty well known at this point. About 15 minutes into this, like there's 3 kids here, which is totally fine. First thing I'm thinking of is like, well, this is great. He's going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
This guy, like the kids are playing catch. He's like, all right, just warm up and play catch together. His like body language was so passive aggressive, and like he was working a 2-hour shift of something. Not whenever this starts, I'm going to teach these. I don't care if I have 100 kids or 3 kids. I'm going to teach these kids some baseball.
Sure.
Was not that. It was like waiting for it to be over as soon as it started.
Sure.
But I'm kind of just trying to I'm sitting there, and he tells these 3 kids to play catch. One kid is so clearly either, I don't even know, never played baseball before, never even considered playing a sport before. He was just so far beyond, like he couldn't even figure out how to throw it.
Yeah.
Which is 100% okay.
Well, yeah, I'd hope that'd be your stance.
Mostly this guy kept aggressively coaching him to remind him that he was throwing off the wrong foot. Like he was a right-handed thrower, so he kept throwing off of his right foot. And he's like, no, you're stepping with the wrong foot. And this is like 10 minutes into this thing.
Yeah.
On top of that, these 2 kids were just playing catch with each other for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
My son's standing there by himself. The guy doesn't say, hey, let's throw together.
Yeah.
Not in a circle. I'll get a glove and play catch in case anybody else shows up. My son's just standing there. So I grab my glove and I grab a ball and I come out. I'm like, hey, bud. And I start playing catch with him.
Yeah.
Now, I'm also like giving him a couple pointers, like raise the, when you throw it, I want you to have the ball high. You're kind of throwing from your shoulder. Little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Step towards me. You're kind of stepping to the side. Just little things are reminders.
Yeah.
And every time I said something, he would come up and say it behind me after I said it. The same way I said it to him. As if it was like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
It's like an 8th grader going like, yeah, I was just about to say that too.
Yeah.
When somebody else gets the right answer.
Yeah.
It was like insane. And the whole time I'm like starting to make this little mental checklist of like, what is this? You know? 25 minutes into, he was like, all right, we're going to hit. So he just put the ball on the tee for kids to hit off a tee. These kids are aged out of T-ball from what I am understanding. I'm thinking my kid is about to get put into kid pitch. Hasn't hit off a tee. So I go, they're going to hit now? He goes, yeah, all right, I'll go shag balls. I go out and shag balls for all 3 kids. They're knocking them all over the place. I'm just running him in, grabbing him, throwing back to home plate so he can put him back on the tee.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, guys, take a water break. I go in. Guy doesn't say anything to me. And the whole time his demeanor is just like, just so, all right, come get some water. No encouragement, nothing, just there. He's just there.
Yeah.
And then it's like hot outside, we're still in summer, even though school started. It's like 90 degrees. It's like 90 degrees outside. Then they go to play like 3-way catch again or something. And they're just doing that for like, then he goes to hit baseball. They hit balls to him. This guy's like, hitting it way harder than he needs to. He's just like hitting it into the outfield. They're just like chasing it and throwing it in. There's like no rhyme or reason to literally hit it.
Sure.
There's 3 kids fielding the whole field.
Yeah.
And he's just hitting baseballs out there.
Probably just crushing them.
Man, and every time he missed, I was just like, what a celebration I had in my head of how stupid he looked.
Yeah.
He was like throwing up and missed like 3 times in a row. I was like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is all just, I could have written this down, how this was going to go after being there for 5 minutes.
Right.
But the longer it went on, the more frustrated I got. And they all get done chasing the ball for like 15 minutes. And they come in. My son says something like, Dad, and he goes, Dad, has it been 2 hours yet? It had been 45 minutes. And that guy decides to go, no, it hasn't.
Yeah.
Not even close. Get some water. And he comes in and gets some water. And then my son starts drinking water. And he's like, face is beet red. He's got sweaty bangs. And I said, I'm going to ask you something right now. And he goes, what? I go, just do me a favor and finish this practice. Okay? I said, I know you're out there hustling. I know it's hot. I know this doesn't seem like it's fun. It doesn't look like a lot of fun, but I'm just going to ask you to finish the practice. And he goes, okay, I will. It was a 2-hour practice from 5 to 7.
Yeah, that's a long practice.
It's 5:45.
It's too long a practice.
Yeah. And he goes, okay. So they go out and play 3-way catch for a while. And one of the kids goes over to his other, like the mom, and then I see him talking to her for like 5 minutes as this kid who's like literally never played baseball before or even thrown anything before is supposed to be playing catch with my son. And again, I don't care about that at all. It was just the fact that the guy wasn't even like giving this kid any extra attention.
Yeah, aware of it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Right? This kid stands up, they come over to with his mom, and they're like, she goes, that's the heat's really getting to him, so I'm going to say we're going to leave today, and maybe we'll do better next time. He goes, okay. And they leave. And then like 90 seconds goes by, and he goes, hey guys, come in for a second. And he like calls my son and this other kid to home plate, and he goes, look, I know it's hot outside, okay? But it's going to be hot outside. So
It's true. It is going to be
This is deep conversation, really motivating stuff. Then he says, well, I'm going to call it for this week, okay? And then we'll come back 2 weeks from now, the third session, and we'll really get some work done and get better, okay? All right, guys. And I was like, dude, I was so pissed.
Yeah.
I was so pissed off. And we don't even walk like 30, 40 yards away from it. And I sit my son down in like center field, and I was like, I'm sorry. And he was like, what? And he goes, I'm sorry, I was complaining. And I was like, no, stop. Because he started crying because he said he felt bad that he was like, what time is it?
Yeah.
And I was like, this was a waste of our time. I apologize that this is what this was.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't know anything about teaching you baseball, and he didn't seem like he even cared to try. So I'm not going to take you back here again, and I will continue to do more work with you when we can together and learn more about baseball.
Sure.
I was so pissed. I was so pissed off. So I don't know, man. Show some effort around kids. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's disappointing. I'm not giving him an out at all, but it is like that disappointing thing that we are, and just let me do my anti-capitalist rant, but like that we are in this like kind of pay to play with all sports, and especially for families like ours that are on budgets. It's like especially with my daughter, like we did rec league. We're doing rec league volleyball right now, rec league tennis. We just did rec league baseball.
Yeah.
All of it very inexpensive through our Parks and Rec. It's great. Highly recommend it. Because we didn't have that guy. But it's also good to do because there are things in it that you're just like, oh, this isn't great. But what's good about it is like if you see that they love the sport, great. Then we can discuss going into the next level of it. Whereas like you don't want to shell out whatever it is, $1,000 for the thing, and they're like, I hate this, and you're like, it's okay.
I hate it too.
But like,
what a stupid experience that was.
no, I know, but
like that's the thing. Like,
but the problem is like you're going through the Parks and Rec doing it, or whatever you didn't do it through there, but like you're doing it through one of the more inexpensive kind of as a break before the regular season kicks in, and it's just like it shouldn't be that way though. That like just because I'm doing the inexpensive way, that it's like you get what you pay for. It's like it shouldn't be that with kids stuff.
You're teaching kids. You show up to knowing it's like a youth. Like you're teaching kids. It's a baseball clinic. You're not even the coach of a baseball team. This is like they show up to like maybe practice or get better at something.
Yeah.
And it was like I literally didn't see him say one thing, not even one thing that was like offering observance or tip or like nothing.
Yeah.
Not even one thing. I mean, like there's like 3 times I almost stopped myself from going like, all right, why don't you just sit down if you don't want to do it? And like just doing it.
Oh my God, I wish you had.
I know. I came home and I was like, I came inside and my wife was like, you're home. And I was like, yep. It was a bit of a waste of time. She goes, oh no. And I go, hey bud, why don't you go outside? Why don't you get yourself a cold glass of water, go outside. We'll play some catch and practice hitting into the net. He's like, okay. And he comes out again. I was like, do me a favor. Just do me one favor. Just go hit like 15 balls into the net. And I was like, I needed to like take a deep breath for a second.
Yeah.
And I didn't like go nuts when he shut the door on my wife, but I was like, I haven't been this mad in a long time. And I need to like wind down. Then I told her, I was like, I told him, I was like, I apologize. I even took you here. She goes, you don't need to apologize. You didn't know that it was going to be that. You wouldn't have taken him if it was going to be that. But I was like, I didn't know what to say. I felt so awful that he was hating every second of it. And there we were, then we were just there, like it was insane.
Oh man, I'm sorry. That sucks.
So replace the fun and just do it after school for 10 minutes. I don't even care if it's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You and me, man, play catch.
Yeah.
And we just did like a hitting drill with plastic balls into the net in the backyard. He learned more in 15 minutes at my house than we would have for 10 months with that guy.
Yeah. So when are you signing up for
Thank you.
Rec League?
We are signed up for Rec League. We're considering moving to the league you guys are playing in.
When are you?
The one you guys did because
when
it was
are you
so
signing up.
I think we probably already did. I'm not sure.
When are you signing up?
Oh, for me to play? For coach?
God, for God's sakes, coach, where are you right now?
I'm still mad at this guy.
When are you going to coach? God, this is the beginning of every Disney movie about sports.
Before my kids somehow beat a Major League Baseball team.
Yeah. That's how it happens.
Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, I think it's probably going to be, let's sign up, and what do I need to do to be the coach?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's moving on.
You're struggling.
Move on.
You're struggling.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm good.
Be
I'm
better.
good.
Be better, your kids,
Yeah.
coaches. Be better. You guys are the worst. All you coaches, you're the terrible. Every single one of you.
You're all
Not a good
trash.
one of you in the bunch. I'm just kidding. Guys, if you have any baseball rants or dumb dad moments, or just, you know what, kind of moments where as a parent you couldn't control things and you wish you could. See, look at how I tied all
I was
going to
say, let's open up the floor. We always say, if you have a dumb dad moment, if you get a rant on something like that you think is just like so insane that you're.
But also as a
Send
moment
it.
where you, as a parent, you felt helpless. See,
Yeah.
we were both helpless.
We could read that and
I connected the episode, is what I'm trying to say. You guys can email us dumbdadpod@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram. We're at the Dumb Dads.
That's right.
Please follow this podcast. If you don't, if you do, write a review. We'll read it on this very podcast, like we're gonna write.
Like you're going to do it right now. Review time. Review time. Review time.
True Iration fan.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
That's their handle. That's a handle.
Gave us 5 stars, and this is a good one to read. This is a good one to read because
Okay.
the first sentence. This is the title. This isn't the first sentence.
Okay.
The title is "Laughing at the Stumblings of Being a Modern Dad." Pretty fun. That's great.
Great
I love
title.
that. I love
yeah,
that.
Great so far. I'm intrigued. I want to look in further.
Are you ready?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Kyle and Evan are true modern dads. My name's Kevin, by the way. Like more and more
My middle
of us,
name's Kyle.
Your middle name is Kyle. My name is Kevin. My first name. My middle name
The hosts of the show are
is Roger. Just so everybody knows. Anyway, Kyle and Evan are true modern dads. Like more and more of us, they do it all. Making appointments, consoling bedtime routine, etc. All while doing what dads do best and messing up along the way. The retrospective look at their fails as fathers while laughing and learning from them is so relatable. Generally, men don't share their feelings and fears with each other, so it's refreshing to hear other men have similar issues and thoughts. They each have great perspective, and even the moments where they're vulnerable and not trying to get a laugh are insightful and sometimes enlightening. The comedic lens that place on fatherhood is something I look forward to weekly. My name is T, and I'm a dumb dad.
Oh, T. Thank you for
T.
the wonderful review.
Thank you.
Honestly written review and carefully written review, especially coming from somebody who doesn't know our names. And we really appreciate that.
No. Doesn't know my name.
Doesn't know.
No, thank you for that review.
You got me there.
T, that was good. That was great. Thank you
That's good.
so
We
much.
appreciate you. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all
That's
about.
great.
Thanks to everyone on SoundCloud for
And
music.
listen, that's not the first time that's happened.
Not the first time. Not even close to the first time.
Not even close.
It's Kevin and Kyle sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Kyle and Evan usually. It's Kyle. Kyle just gets in there.
Kyle sneaks in there quite a
Kyle
bit.
sneaks in there. It's fine. We all do it.
We love it. We always get a good chuckle out of it, so it's good.
Oh, yeah. Thanks to everyone on SoundCloud for the music for this podcast. And thanks, as always, to my lovely wife, Annie, for editing this podcast. Evan, do you have a joke to take us out?
I do. Ready? What has given Mr. Bubbles nightmares since elementary school?
A pop-up scare.
Pop quizzes.
Pop quizzes?
You were there. School.
School, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're tired.
Okay, bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?
The Dumb Dad Podcast is proudly presented by Bet Online.